Welcome back to Life in the 1900s newspapers, where we read old newspapers together. Today's paper is the Augusta Herald from Augusta, Georgia, in 1928. Before we begin reading, I want to focus on the kids in the 20s. Look how much fun these kids are having right out on the street. A popular game was marbles, or to be more active, get your buddies together and play a game of baseball. You and your buddies could also go to the local playground and play on the teeter-totters. Hey there, hold on, this merry-go-round goes fast. I think this one where you hold on looks fun, like a large maypole. When you needed a little rest, you would grab the newspaper and read the latest comics. You may treat yourself to a 5-cent box of Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jacks started in the 1800s and were still popular in the 20s. Not only would you get that caramel popcorn and peanuts, but you would also get a prize. Did you know that Cracker Jack prizes are very sought after today? These are pictures of some of the prizes in the 20s. Now it's time to read the Augusta Herald, dated February 2nd, 1928. A bedtime story for grown-ups. Little Weasel was going through the forest with Red the Chipmunk. As they came to an opening space, they heard crashing in the thicket. It was Pete the Deer who broke out of the woods beside them, panting. "What's the matter? You appear frightened," said Red the Chipmunk. "Frightened?" said Pete the Deer. "I'm all in a lather, and so would you, if you had the close shave I just had. I was browsing on a hill, thinking I was alone and safe from harm, when all the time there was a hunter with a gun not 300 yards away." "Ooh, tell us what happened." "He coughed," said Pete the Deer. "Giving me warning, I leapt away just as he raised his rifle. Phew! It's lucky for you he wasn't an old gold cigarette smoker," said Little Weasel. A leap year duel. Leap year was ushered into this town with a duel between two young maidens who had matrimonial designs on the same man. Louise Vazakas met her rival on one of the main thoroughfares. When they could not agree as to which should have the man of their choice, they drew penknives and proceeded to slash away in such a convincing manner that the crowd had difficulty in stopping the combat. They were hustled off to different physicians for repairs. Blows up house. Scranton, Pennsylvania. "Too much mother-in-law," was the reply of Stephen Gobera, 24-year-old miner, when questioned Thursday by Sheriff Glomer Davis as to his reason for dynamiting the home of his father-in-law. Gobera was arrested while viewing the building he had wrecked with 22 sticks of dynamite and a fuse. He readily admitted that he was responsible for the explosion. I wanted to end up all the fighting by blowing them all up. Gobera's mother-in-law, his wife, and month-old child were in the rear of the Hiroshio house when the blast was set off under the front porch. They were knocked down as the explosion ripped the front of the structure away, but were not seriously hurt. Windows in a dozen homes were broken, and police from Carbondale were summoned because of the excitement following the blast. What is modesty anyway? 30 years ago, she was called a brazen hussy because she didn't care who saw her elbows. In 1928, Prohibition was going on, but did you know that with a doctor's note, you could have medical liquor prescribed to you? Here's a humorous article on that subject. Ghosts, maybe. Hartford, Connecticut. Who got the liquor? That is the question being asked by Deputy Prohibition Administrator here. A check on liquor prescriptions issued by Connecticut doctors showed that the addresses of the patients were cemeteries, railroad stations, vacant lots, and other similar locations. Almost a mystery. Seattle, Washington. It's no crime to sleep in a doghouse, but when a small farmer boy living in the Des Moines Highway near here took a nap in one, he had his mother and authorities believing a crime had been committed. A frantic search of the countryside ended when someone spotted the boy's shoes protruding from the doghouse of a neighbor. Mother Goose in person at White's Saturday. Straight from the land of nursery rhymes comes Mother Goose to White's on Saturday. Every little girl and boy in Augusta is invited to come to meet this charming old lady who comes to White's through the courtesy of the makers of F&B dolls, and will give 2 entertainments on Saturday at 11 and at 3:30. There is no admission charge. Freckles and his friends.
Gee, the fellas will never guess in a million years who's coming to our house. Wait till I tell them. They'll be surprised to hear I have an Uncle Harry. Can't guess who's coming to our house in a couple days.
Why, your Uncle Harry? Sure, we know all about it.
When I asked who told them, all they'd say was, "A little bird told us." Here's Oscar. He'll never guess. Somebody's coming to my house, and you can't guess who.
Your Uncle Harry. A little bird told me.
I'd give anything to know how they all know about it, when I didn't even know I had an Uncle Harry till last Tuesday.
Just got back from telling all the kids we know that our Uncle Harry was coming to visit us.
So you're the little bird.
Out our way. Aw, Curly, that delightful smell of pines, the exhilarating air, the refreshing streams, it all thrills me. I never hear you enthuse over such things. Nature seems to have made us all so different.
Yes, sort of balances things. If you was like me, you could take a drink and tell if it was a herd of goats standing in the water a mile up the creek, or a big elk washing his overalls. And if I was like you, I wouldn't drink it. So there you are.
our boarding house. I shouldn't be telling you this, Jake, but Miss Church has a crush on you like a grape press. She thinks you have the most fascinating eyes and that your indifference is adorable. No kiddin'. You're her composite picture of a toothpaste and collar ad.
Miss Church? Isn't she the one that helped Betsy Ross cut the stars? Kinda likes me, eh? Well, that's only natural. All my life, women have rushed to me like a clearance sale. Yeah.
What a break for you, Jake. She owns a lot of oil land and has barber's knuckles from cutting coupons. She ain't much on looks, but distance lends enchantment, especially when she's well off. Building Jake into romance.